No, we'll be like this.
What are you going to be like, Shannon? Okay, everybody look sad. So, all right. So, for those of you who are joining us on YouTube, yeah, I am here with, this is Beth, and I am here with the Shibaguyz, Shannon and Jason Mullett-Bowlsby, who are, it's all about crochet, photography, and comedy. So they have been entertaining the people who are here live in the room for the last few minutes. Sorry you missed that because I wasn't recording yet. So, but I want to welcome Shannon and Jason back to the party line. So welcome. It's so nice to have you there. And because you were here for Urban Edge, I think was the last time that I saw you, right?
It was like 2010.
Was that long ago? Wow.
Yeah, that came out in 2010.
I think that was the last time you were here was for Urban Edge, which, wow, time flies, huh?
It's a long trip.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. And actually, Shannon, because when we had our little test session yesterday, I was telling you the first time that I met you, though of course we weren't on video at the time, is that you were actually came to an event where Drew Borski was the designer for whatever. A book had just come out, and you were posting in the chat room and chat line, and it was just hysterically funny, and you were just needling him something fierce.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm sure you don't, because that's totally against your
totally not me.
Oh, it's completely out of character. And at the time,
you said that with a straight face. That was pretty good.
I'm good at it. So and Drew was talking about you at the time, and because he was mentoring you, and this is when you in the beginning of your design career, and so I mean it's kind of come full circle because here we are again, right? You're still here. You're still working.
I'm still here. What's that song? I'm still here.
Still here. That people are still buying your stuff, so it's a good thing.
And I would like to thank all of them. I would like to thank all 10 of them for buying my stuff.
It keeps you busy. Yeah.
It keeps me in coffee, so I'm that.
So you have a small but rabid following, so that's good.
Yeah, 10 really rabid people that buy like thousands of books each. So
however it gets there, right? So
I really don't care. I mean, if they want to buy 50 books each, that's great with me.
Yes, well, as long as your money's green, who cares, right?
I don't care.
So we're here for the latest tome. Actually, this book is really heavy. So I noticed that when I got it, I was like, wow, this book is really heavy. So and we all have copies of it. So, well, you and I have copies of it. And hopefully some lucky person in the room today is going to win. All three of us have copies. We'll win a copy today. And if you're coming back and watching this on Facebook or on YouTube within the next few days, then you should head on over to our Facebook page because, we'll be giving away a second copy on Facebook on Planet Purl's page. So now tell everybody how this. Oh, and Jane says she has a copy of it. Well, Jane, if you win a copy of it, she's one of the 10. Jane is one of the 10. So
one of the 10. Mm-hmm,
yeah. So Jane, if you win a copy today, then you'll have one to give to a friend. So, and then, it's a good thing. So Jason and Shannon, tell us how the book Designer Crochet came about. Who did you have to hoodwink to get that?
We have a very good agent. We have a rabid agent who went around and got us a really good publisher. This is with our new publisher. This is Sterling Publishing Lark Crafts Books. And it's our first book with them, and we're currently working on our second one.
Oh, wow.
Book number 2.
Behind us, you can see
all the stuff on the board is all the secret stuff, so don't zoom in too much because
it's a secret. I love to see where people actually work because I've seen some photographs of really pristine workspace, which I found out later was actually a set.
Yeah. You know that. you know that they're lying. They stage all that because it's not true. Because this place is. I showed you yesterday, but I'm not showing everybody else.
Yeah, don't show the floor. It'll scare people.
I was like, you don't want to see all the swatches and the piles of yarn back here, but that part looks really good.
It does.
Yeah, that's kind of how I keep myself focused on what I'm working on next. But yeah, Designer Crochet came about because I just wanted to, because it's 32 patterns. It's 32 different patterns. There's garment and there's like how many, like 5 or 6 accessories.
Yeah, 6.
In it. And it came about because we wanted to do kind of a wardrobe book, a book that like you did it, you bought it, and if you just started working through it, you'd have a complete crocheted wardrobe. And so I did all the designs like you do, and I did all the sketches, and I put it all out in a book proposal, sent it off to our agent, and she sends it off to the nice people. And usually what they do is they say, okay, we'll take 16 or 20 of those, right? They usually say, a manageable size book. They just came back and said, yes, we'll take it. And I was like, okay, so we're going to talk later about which ones they want. So when that time came, I said, which ones do you want? And they said, yes. I'm like, what? And they like, we'd like all of them. And I was like, we're going to die. We're going to die.
Did anybody administer a breathalyzer at that point?
Yeah, it was kind of like, okay. So because it was everything that I put in there was kind of the dream team of designs that I wanted to do. It was all the patterns that I've always wanted to do and that I've always wanted to make. And that if I wore them, I mean, I'm not a female type person. I'd still wear some of them, even though I'm not. But if it were me, I would wear all of these. And so that's what I put in the book. And by golly, they agreed, and they said it needs to go as a full collection, and it makes sense that way. And that's how it happened. Yeah. And Jason did the photography on that other book that you were talking about. And so they were like, hey, yeah, sure. We put it in the proposal to have Jason do the photography, and they said yes. And he also did all the graphics. So all the little charts that you see in there and the schematics and stuff.
Yeah.
Jason
did that's the fun part, right, Jason?
Yeah. Fun, yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
We had a great time doing it. But the advantages with, the advantages is that we had, the photographer and the graphics person and the designer were all under one roof. And so we were able to get stuff done. I mean, he knows what I wanted the designs to look like.
Yeah, that helps immensely as a photographer. I need to know or have some idea of what the stuff is supposed to look like on a body, because a lot of times you just got to guess if you don't have the designer there, like, okay, which way's up? Is it this way? Which is the right side? I don't know. So it helps to have him standing there going, no.
That's not it.
Hey, this needs to look like this. This needs to be that way. And we were able to pick models that we knew would look really good in the garments and would fit them right. And we used all real life people for models.
Yeah.
So they're actually on real women. I think one of them is a professional model. The rest of them are all
people we know.
Yeah, people we know, basically, that we were like, hey, you're a normal person and you're pretty, so let's put you in front of the camera,
Wow, you
that way,
normal people.
Yeah, I mean, that way we were able to get people that looked like the people who were going to be buying the book, basically.
Yeah.
And again,
it's really unheard of to have that kind of creative control with a publisher. I mean, that's
we are so lucky with Sterling Lark that they did this. They were very generous with us with the control on this book. Yeah. I mean, they were there every step of the way helping us out, but definitely giving us that much and to be that collaborative with us. It was fantastic. It was a real big learning process for us to put together a big book like this for a major publisher. So it was a lot of fun. We had fun with it.
Yeah.
And then now it's here.
It's here. I think we should go take a look at it. What do you think?
Okay, let's take a look at it.
Let's do it. Now, I have to say, when I opened the book, I was like, well, this book looks so different.
Yeah.
Than it's so different from any other knitting book or crochet book that I'd ever seen. It definitely has its own feel. How did that come about?
Yeah, that was because we photographed everything 3 times.
Yeah, because you got nothing else to do, Jason. So
Yeah.
We had 3 different photo shoots for this, but well, probably more than that. But we had 3 different sets of photos. Yeah. Some of them were done outside, and then we did a whole set of nothing but on dress forms in the studio. And then we were talking with our editor, and it just wasn't clicking. You know what I mean? It just wasn't fitting the look and the feel that the patterns and that the garments, had. And we kind of said, I was studying for another project. I was studying a lot of Japanese fashion design books. They're actual books from their fashion design schools. And I was like, I love the way they just have a stark, clean look to the photos, and all you do is notice the garments. And we were talking to her, and she just kind of went crazy. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, I love that too." And I was like, "What if we did something like this?" And she goes, "Yes, yes." And it kind of happened like in about 15 minutes of happy jumping and screaming. And we came upon this look. I think the cover photo that you're showing there is the only one that was actually from that original photo shoot.
It is, yes. That is the only photo that we used
from the original photo shoot that was done outside. All the rest of them are done just so that it's this minimalist look, and so that you just focus on the stitches and the garments and the fit and the way they look, and we just love it. And the feedback has been fantastic because it's not distracting and it's very garment-centric, and you can see what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not standing in a garden.
Clean, beautiful. We like that too. I mean, stuff that's set in context of, out and about. We're going to do another project like that, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
But this look for this set of garments, it just seemed right. So that's what our editor was like. Yes, let's do it, and so we did. And you can see there that's in our actual photography studio here in Seattle. And I love the look. It's clean, and you can see the garments, and you can see the way it fits and hangs, and there's nothing distracting. It kind of looks like the way their marketing people described it is it kind of looks like my sketches kind of like came to life all of a sudden, and I love that thought because a lot of these do look just like my sketches.
Yeah, it's like that white paper background, that makes everything stand out. And so, yeah, Kate M is saying that you make really beautiful crochet garments, which I have to completely agree. And Jane C says this one's her favorite one in the book, which, I mean, this is such an interesting like juxtaposition of that lacy and the more solid and how that's placed. And I think we should point out to people also that this book sizes everything up to 5X. Everything up to
5X, right?
Yeah, so you don't have to be, a size 2 model to look great in these beautiful garments. And so I took kind of a sampling out of the book because there's outerwear, there's jackets, there's dresses and skirts and accessories. So I kind of got a sampling of this. I just thought this one just really is kind of this is a multi-season.
I love this duster.
Yeah, you could wear this year round, and it's really beautiful. So tell us all how this design came to you.
That is a modular piece. Each one of those sections, there's the solid section down at the bottom, then there's the first lace panel. Each one of those panels that you see, the forearms, the sleeves, the top of the shoulders, those are all made in separate sections and then sewn together at the end. So this is like the ultimate travel project.
Wow.
You could take it with you and work on the individual sections and then just sew the whole thing together. And there's some pleats in the back too to make the fitting a little bit better. So you can make the pleats big. I'm pointing to my back. Can you see?
Yeah, I can tell. And the people who watch this on YouTube will know that too. That you're just for the record, Shannon is pointing at his butt. So
on YouTube, you won't see this part. They don't see the video on YouTube.
Oh.
Screen. There's some pleats in the back so you can customize a little bit how fitted you want it to be through the waist. And I just love that you can customize like that with it, and that it's so individual. You can make it longer or shorter. We have some people that are making it they're making it a little bit longer by just making that lace section longer. making, changing the sleeves a little bit. It's very customizable just because of that.
Yeah, and it's going to have a totally different look depending on what colors you're putting underneath it that are showing through, right? So,
yeah, there's a blue version in the book too that's actually on a 2X.
Yes. Yeah,
I believe it's a 2X. There's the blue version that we photographed. I think it's in the back cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what's really nice is there are some alternate photographs in here, so you can see it on something other than, you can see it on fluffy people, right? Because some of us fluffy people,
Are full figure models, right?
Well, and there's always that question. It's like, well, it looks great on her, but what's it going to look like, if you have a larger chest or wider hips so it's really nice. So, so this is in Pat saying that she's enjoying the fact that attention is all on the garment. So, and here's that's what you're looking at. And in fact, in quite a few of the pictures, you don't even have a head. I mean, the model's head isn't even there. They're headless.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, they're basically live mannequins at that point.
Right. It's just supposed to be a representation of the sketch that I did in a design book. Because the first thing I'll do is I'll do sketches like that. I don't even carry a sketchbook anymore, so I don't have any laying around here. I'm looking on my shelves. But I do a sketch on my computer with my drafting program, and this is basically what you're looking at there is what my sketches look like. And so that was kind of the idea, was to bring those to life on the page so that it was just keeping that attention on it.
Yeah, really, really, really pretty. So, and this is such a cool overlayer, though it doesn't look really bulky and heavy. You can tell from the hood what a great drape this fabric has.
So light, yeah. We had her move a little bit there so that you can see the way it moves through the side and drapes on the top. I really concentrated. This is all done in lightweight yarns. Everything is DK weight or lighter.
Yeah.
And I really concentrated on not just lace stitches to make the draping and to make the light fabrics. Some of these are solid stitches. I mean, this one is solid stitch from top to bottom with ribbing on the forearms and ribbing along the bottom, and it still maintains that lightweight, easy to wear feel to it. And that was my big goal with the fabrics in this. Is that I really wanted lightweight, wearable, movable things that felt good on your body, but still had the oomph that crochet texture gives. That's kind of why I really love working crochet so much, and why I do knitting too. But I really love the crochet textures that I can get with just little variations of a stitch, and so that's what we did with a lot of these, including this one.
Yeah, and Alicia says that she really loves this. She's amazed that it was crocheted. And I had the same thing because, I think for a lot of times when you think crochet, especially people who are predominantly knitters, I knit way more than I crochet, is that you tend to think of, the thicker fabrics that are created with crochet. I love crochet because you can create a lot of real estate really quickly, unlike knitting, which, especially in a finer yarn, yeah. So all the knitters in the room know this. But this to me does not look crocheted. And I guess that's the best compliment I can pay, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is crocheted though.
We hear that a lot.
Yeah, we'll put these up because when we teach our classes, we'll put these up on dress forms at the front of the class, and people
We'll argue with Shannon.
Are you sure this one's crocheted? Because it looks. Are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. But it just, the fabrics are. I play a lot with fabric, and it's all about whether I'm knitting or crocheting. It's all about creating proper fabrics, and proper fabrics, because you can create. Man, with what we do, any of these handcrafts that we have, knitting and crocheting, we can create so. You change your hook size or change your needle size, change the yarn content, let alone the weight of the yarn, but just change the yarn content a little bit, and you've got a completely different fabric, and I love that. And that's why, like I showed you yesterday, there's stacks and stacks of swatches.
Yeah.
That you don't need to show them all of them.
Not true.
There's boxes and boxes sitting over
Yeah.
here on a shelf of the plastic tubs full of swatches, and those will be for one book because it's playing with the fabrics and really getting proper fabrics. That if I draft up a design, I want, you know, like this red one that you're seeing there on the screen now. I really wanted a nice draped hood and that feel that it would set on the body nicely, but not cling to your body,
Yeah.
and not feel heavy when you wore it, because that's a lot of real estate. That's a lot of fabric right there that you're making, and you don't want it to feel like you're wearing a blanket. You know what I mean? And that's I
think that's kind of for people, for a lot of designers, when they size something up for larger sizes, is that they don't take into account that you really don't want 6 inches of bulk added to your hips. And actually, I think even probably size 2s don't want 6 inches of bulk added to their hips and their upper arms. And, you know, but the drape on this is just absolutely gorgeous. And I love that asymmetrical zipper. It's very, very cool. So,
as well, has a there's a full tutorial in it for anybody who's afraid of putting in zippers. Yeah, we've got a full tutorial as to
how to set in a zipper,
how to size a zipper, and how to set a zipper in. So there's actually
how to alter the size of the zipper and how to set it in. All those tutorials are all in the book. Everything for how to sew the locking mattress stitch that we use, and how to make some of our special foundation stitches, as well as things like setting in a sleeve. How to set in a sleeve. There's a video step through of that, and a step out of how to set in a zipper like this, how to set it and lengthen a zipper.
Yeah, and I think people are really afraid of the zipper in the knitting thing, but it's actually not that difficult. So
it's not.
No.
Especially you see his tutorial, like when he got it, because, you know, I mean, Jason does all the finishing. He does the blocking and sewing of the pieces, and, you know, pins them together, and I stand there and say that I hate it until it's done, and then and then once it's done, I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful, and but he really did work hard on that zipper technique and how to make it work right. I mean, he comes from a background of knowing how to sew anyway.
Well, also how to make it easy, because it can be a bit of a bear unless you've got a really good technique to do it. And I just happened to stumble across a really, really cool way to do it.
Yeah, it's just lovely. So
yeah, we try to make it as easy as it is for us as it is for you. We try to pass along all the knowledge and the techniques that we use to create these pieces, so that it's not just some magical thing that we did by waving a crochet hook in the air and saying ding, and there it is.
It's not a bibbity bobbity boo moment.
Right. There's no, you know, Harry Potter moment where we're doing this thing, or it's actually the techniques that we did to create them. You have them too.
Yeah, really nice. So this this is getting wows in the chat window here. So tell us about this poncho, which is just this color, the stitch technique on this is so beautiful. It looks woven.
Yeah, it will look woven. It's a real, once you learn it's a spike stitch technique that, again, is in the book. And it you can see the way it drapes there, and that's with a sport weight yarn.
Yep.
I believe, I can't remember which
Cascade
one.
220.
Yeah, that's Cascade 220 Superwash Sport.
Oh, I love that yarn.
Yeah, I love that yarn. And look at the drape. I mean, this is just, we didn't put it on a person because we wanted you to see how the whole thing just melts on your body and just feels, but I had to have structure. If you're going to have that big of a piece of fabric, you have to have a lot of structure to it, and that's why that stitch pattern has that much structure to it, and it just comes out looking so woven and so beautiful. And you just change colors every set, and it makes that woven look as the one color goes down into the other one.
And it's fairly simple pattern to do. It's 2 rectangles.
Yeah.
And a neck.
Yeah.
That's it.
So it really
I'm sure you appreciated that, Jason, when it was time to sew it up.
Yes, very much.
Yep.
Very much so.
Yeah. So Kate says this is wow. Alicia says it's lovely. Jane says it's a beauty. Kate says she needs it, and says this isn't Tunisian because it actually has kind of that feel to it.
It is not. There's no Tunisian in this book. It's all just straight stitch crochet.
Wow. Yeah, and the great thing about that Cascade 220 Sport in the superwash is it comes like in, I don't know, like 1,000 colors or something too.
1 billion colors. Oh yeah. We got to go down to their warehouse last week, and because they're just down over the hill here. I'm
I just right down.
They're just down over the hill from the house here, and we went down there and like walked into the warehouse like.
Yeah, I mean it's like a yarn color wheel. It's unbelievable. So if this isn't your color palette, there are a billion more to choose from.
There's a billion more to choose from. Yeah.
Awesome. Really pretty. So this jacket is actually, you call this a beginner jacket, right?
Yeah, it's called the beginner cardi. There's no fancy names in these. They're not called the Clarissa or the
Gertrude,
the Falling Waters cardigan or anything like that. They're actually called what they are.
Which goes with the fact they look like what they are, right? They're filmed on white. It's just very streamlined.
Probably a good thing. So, but this one we wanted to put across that this is a beginner cardi. There's the only shaping in this is in the sleeves, and it's very basic beginner shaping. And
it's rectangles.
Yeah, and there's patterning for all the shaping, and we say this is how you should do the shaping. If you see this, do this. If you see this, do that. And it's I mean, people are making this one like now and going, okay, I finished it, and now I'm wearing it, you know.
Yeah, which is just crazy because the fitting on this, you know, because normally when you see something that's beginner and that is rectangles and has minimal shaping, it usually fits like a sack. You know, that's kind of typical. You know, it fits like a sack. It's like a drop shoulder pullover or something. You know, it's like a box. This actually fits her nicely.
Yeah, this is a drop shoulder. There's no set-in sleeve with it. So making it as well as putting it together, because then the ribbed, I'm pointing again, I can't do that. The ribbed shawl collar that you see there on it is also just one rectangle that's sewn onto the front after you're done. It's easy to make and it's easy to put together. And I think for a beginner, this is the perfect piece to go, okay, I've made scarves and afghans and stuff like that, and now I'm ready. I want to make a garment. And man, they're going to make this and take it and show it off, and nobody is going to think you're a beginner. And for advanced stitchers, more experienced stitchers, they're going to be able to make this thing like that. I mean, if it were me, I would make these. How are they going to be
able to make it like
this? Like
that? Oh, okay. Just a second.
I know they can't see it. They'll be able to make it quickly because there's not a lot of. This is kind of for you knitters, this is kind of your stockinette stitch. You know what I mean? It's just like you just go and you make these panels, and then sew it together properly, and you've got another garment. You know, I mean, so for them it'll be a nice piece that they can take out and show off, and nobody's going to look at this and go, oh, well, that's a really basic pattern. But we tried to make something that looked more high-end, but was going to be, perfect for beginners to make, but also
accessible is the word.
Yeah, accessible. We tried to make something very accessible, whether you're beginner or experienced, and we worked really hard with such minimal shaping to make the fit proper on this, and I think people are going to love it.
Yeah, Kate says this just looks nicer than beginner work, which is the point, right?
Yeah, that's really the point, that it really has a little more of a high-end look to it. So thank you, Kate.
So I see this shape, like this shape is so popular now with that cascading fronts on it, or that waterfall front is really pretty, but the stitch work in this is really interesting to me. The texture of it is really pretty. Tell me about this jacket.
This is the drape front cardi. And it's just designed to have that, like it says, drape front. It's designed to have those cascading fronts that drape like that very easily. We also like this one overlapped. The front's overlapped and maybe pinned up on one side. It's such a versatile piece because of that, and also because of the fact that the fronts will hang open like this. You could belt it open around the sides. It's a good office piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's flattering on just about every form that wears it, whether you're thin whether you're a little heavy, whether you're busty, whether you're hippie. It's going to fit just about wherever you want it to, without drawing attention to.
And this model is curvy. She has a classic hourglass shape to her. So she has curvy bust and curvy hips, and people can't see me doing that, but I made an hourglass with my hands. So you can see here, though, it makes a continuous line from top to bottom on her. And you know, if you want to show it off a little bit, belt it. If you want to kind of just have something that looks nice and you can feel comfortable in, this is a perfect piece for that. Made the sleeves a little more slouchy, so the fit is a little more relaxed in the sleeves. And again, we went with that thing with the fabric of really, I wanted to do a lace piece instead of all solids, but I wanted to do a lace that didn't look like a doily.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we don't want to wear doilies.
Right. I did what they're kind of like they're lace solids.
Yeah.
To where it's a lace pattern, but the way that it continues and the way that it multiplies just kind of looks like one piece of fabric. And again, it's about creating good proper fabrics, and that's what the straight front cardi was about.
Yeah, and Patricia said it's a great look. I agree, and it's so versatile. It's just so versatile. So, and then you have some dresses in here, and I think crochet works so much better for dresses and skirts than knitting does, because it tends to hold its shape a little better, I think, than knitting does, which tends to give you saggy butt, you know, which...
Right. It depends on the stitch, and I think I worked really hard with this stitch. Well, yeah, with the stitches with all of our dresses and skirts, it was that is a challenge, and I had to work on them, and I had to practice with them and see what they were going to be like under body heat, because when your body heat gets next to a fabric, it can stretch and give, and if you were to sit in something improperly, it would end up spreading. And this comes back really nicely. This is a stitch that it's another solid fabric, and it comes right back very easily. So I'm not saying that it'll never stretch out if you sit for a couple of hours in it, but I don't.
Well, as well, we also block all of our fabrics to start with. So if everything you're given is given in a blocked gauge.
In the blocked gauge rather than a stitched gauge.
So you know when you're finished, you're going to block it out to a certain size, and that should be just about as far as it's going to stretch naturally anyway.
Yeah.
So that way you aren't going to get that sag that would naturally happen on some garments.
Oh, yeah.
where you aren't blocking it.
Yeah.
That fixes that problem.
These will not, we've worked very hard with all of our pieces, these will not turn into the elephant leg sack dress type thing, where you make a cardi and then you wear it for a little while and your body heat suddenly makes it stretch, and all of a sudden you've got something down around your ankles that looks about, the one woman in our class has described it as looking like an elephant's leg when you're wearing it.
Yeah, that's really descriptive.
That describes it, though, doesn't it? I mean, you think about people who do that just stretch as you wear them. We've blocked these fabrics and made them, again, we created the proper fabric for the proper type of garment. This is an off-the-shoulder dress, and we needed it to set nicely on the shoulders. You can flip it up as a nice little cowl around the neck, too. But we wanted it to not grow as you wore it. I mean, you could feel comfortable wearing this. We have somebody making this now that she's not the type that would wear a dress like this, but she's wearing tights and knee boots or jeans with it and things like that, and wearing it just as a long sweater, as a tunic for herself. And I think
I love that length in sweaters. I just think it's pair of
you have. I mean, again, this model has actual hips. I mean, she's not a stick, you know what I mean? She has a bust and she has hips, and you can see that there's still some drape in the sides. If you wanted to block it so that there was more room in different places, you could do that. There's enough room in here for customization that way so that it will look good on different people.
Yeah. And then I love this. Because the texture across the top is really beautiful, really pretty. And, knitters look at cables in crochet and think, how is that possible? Because you guys are just using one hook, and we've got 2 needles and a cable needle, and we got our little tricks to make that happen. But when I see it in crochet, I just think it's so pretty. And I love the cable across the shoulders, which for, it just draws attention to the face, and if you're, wearing a larger size, that's where you want the attention to be, is,
right. And we tried, and you can see the way that we placed it. Again, she has curves. We placed it so that the cable doesn't come all the way down over the bust line, because that just makes
no. No.
That makes unfortunate patterns in unfortunate places. So we really did it like a traditional yoked sweater, like if you're thinking like an Icelandic, like a ski sweater.
Yeah.
Kind of that look that I was going for on the top, and then just one of the nice, beautiful, easy lace pattern, because then what you do is you make the lace from the top down, and attach those panels that way.
Yeah, really, really pretty. And actually, Kate says it's amazing. Alicia loves the texture, which how could you not love the texture on that?
We love it too.
Yeah, that's a good thing, right? It's your book. I hope you like them, because it's.
Oh, we love. I mean, we're kind of over the moon about this book. We got to go back to New York in February and see the first copy that came, one of the first copies that came over from the printer, and we were floored.
Yeah.
I mean, our publisher brought us into this big conference room with a big table, and they hand it to us and kind of look at us, and just floored at the way that it looked. I mean, you have a copy there in your hands. They used really high-end paper, so that the color of the photos would look like. I mean, we would print photos like this.
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah, these are.
Yeah, they did a great job with it. And this skirt that you're showing now is my vanity piece that I've wanted to design since I picked up a hook. I mean, I wanted this type of skirt. I wanted something that had that really free and easy look, and that used something that we're familiar with. I mean, crocheters are familiar with motifs and what they are. Each one of these is made, and it's connected as you go. So you make that whole top section, the solid section up there, that kind of modesty panel at the top, so that it fits in there, and then you start attaching the motifs as you go. And you make one, and it attaches to the next, and it attaches to the next, and so the skirt builds from the top down in rounds as you go. It's a great piece to just watch grow and watch develop and watch it happen and see what it goes. Plus, it's customizable because of that. If you want to make it a little bit shorter or a little bit longer, you can either make. There's that one woman who's making it now, and she made the solid section a little bit longer.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we have some folks that are adding motifs onto the bottom to make it even more longer, because they wanted something that actually did sweep the floor. So this is the one that I look at this and I'm glad that I designed it. It makes me very happy that I designed this piece.
And it would have a totally different look based upon what you wear underneath it.
Sure. Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
Wear underneath it.
Or don't wear. I mean, if you're the type that you're okay with it, then don't wear anything underneath it. Just wear some shorts and
off you go. Little boy shorts, and you're done.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a great piece for, what did we say, for Coachella? Mm-hmm. That's what we were talking about today.
Exactly. So
I mean, a nice summer skirt or something, nice spring. I mean, how light and airy and does that feel? So I really love this piece. I love this skirt.
Yeah, and I can see like the top in like a denim blue and the bottom in a cream, and kind of a different take on like a denim skirt with a little lace trim, and be really adorable for the summer.
Yeah, that really would look like. Yeah, somebody do that quick.
Oh, okay, tomorrow. So, and then tomorrow when I get back from the golf game. So and you have some accessory pieces in here as well. And this one I had to put this in the presentation today because it's just lovely, and it's so like multifunctional, kind of wear it any which way kind of thing. So tell us about this shawl / hood / wrap.
Vest. It's the hooded vest.
Yeah, it's called a hooded scarf. I think what's the exact name?
Hooded wrap vest.
Hooded wrap vest. That's it. And you can see there's buttons down the front. There's the wave pattern that's done in that. It's I called it a nonstick lace feather and fan, because it has a stitch that we started doing that imitates broomstick lace, but you don't use a broomstick with it. You just make it all in one fell swoop. And then it has a feather and fan effect to it with that wave.
Yeah.
And so the buttons come together so that feather and fan radiates out from the front. So again, it was all about the stitch and all about the texture, but I'm currently obsessed with these big blanket scarves. And I'm glad that we got to go to New York this year because I got to wear all of mine. I make these really big, wide scarves, and I was like, you know what? We're gonna put I love hoodies. The folks can't see it now, but I'm wearing one now. I wear a lot of hoodies, and so I slapped a hood on this because it really, you put the hood on and then wrap the top around, and you're pretty much set. Or else you can put the hood down and wear it like a little cowl around your neck. But the whole thing buttons down the front if you want, and then you can belt it or wear it under your coat that way, so it's a little protective. Why you'd ever want to cover this up, I can't imagine.
Yeah, I can't either, unless it's part of the reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you take it off, and
And it's like a dramatic reveal. So, Yeah, Jane says this would be great in Vermont, which, what's really cool about this is it's pretty much all season, depending on whether you wear it by itself, whether you wear it over, a coat or under a coat. I mean, it's just the right amount for cool summer evenings, right? So it gives you lots of options to use this. It's not just a big scarf that you're going to drag out when it's 20 below.
Yeah, this is definitely a transitional garment as well. I mean, you can use it. It certainly keeps you warm, but it's a good transitional piece for like spring or even for early summer or late summer for those really cooler nights.
Yeah. Or if you're someplace where it gets cool in the evenings, like the mountains or something, it's like perfect for going to dinner or something in the evening too, where you have to have a little something on, but it's not really sweater weather. So
yeah, you can definitely use this. I mean, either as casual or as really, you could dress it up a lot very easily. Yeah,
it's so pretty.
Thank you.
What a great book, and it's kind of. I'm taking the year off this year myself. I'm taking a year off from writing and designing, and I'm just doing other people's patterns because I've just, it's so relaxing to actually knit or crochet and just read the directions and do it, not have to take notes or anything. And it's just so I think there's going to be some crochet in my summer this year because I'm really inspired. And I just showed you 9 for people who are watching this. I just showed you 9 of the 32 designs. So it's just, it's like, which is crazy, right? If 32 designs, we'd be here all day. And then, not that I would mind, but it'd be a long day. So, and Patricia says she's never been a fan of crochet, but this book has converted her. And she's fantastic, and you should be very proud. So, and then Pat agrees, and Mary Alice says she loves this book, and it's just, it's really, the nice thing is, sometimes I get books and the patterns are, aspirational. They're beautiful. I love looking at them. They're kind of coffee table books, but then it ends up on my shelf, and I pretty much don't look at them again unless I'm
things like that.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah,
we place things like that. I mean, they're aspirational. But I go through this book and I'm like, I think I could make that. So yeah,
that was the point. We wanted something that looked, for the overall book itself. I mean, we wanted something that looked beautiful. I know that's what our publisher was really. It was important to them too that it looked beautiful to represent what the garments were like. They were really keyed in with us on that and kept saying it over and over again that they wanted to make sure that the book itself represented what was in it properly, and to the style and the elegance of the garments was really represented in the visual look of the book. So it really is for us, as a designer. I mean, you know what it's like. This really is the full package for us, And for somebody to buy the book, it's 32 patterns because we really wanted We just saw somebody come into the room. It's one of our contractors. Juanita is in here. She's one of the people that helped us make this book.
As a matter of fact, she
made the piece on the cover that you're showing right now. Hi, Juanita.
Hey. Hi, Juanita. Good job, you.
She did that humongous cable that's there on the front cover.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, the things that we make our contractors do. Twice sometimes. She did the components for that. There she says hi. Hi, Juanita.
Hi, Juanita.
But it is, it's 32 patterns because we wanted it to be a wardrobe builder. This is, our publisher put out a blog post, a preview blog post that said we're just going to warn you that next spring you need to be ready because you're going to want to make a lot of these, and I thought that was really funny, but it's, I really hope that people find that true, that you're going to find some pieces in this that really do inspire you to pick up a hook and make a garment, even if it's your first time making a garment.
And only the people in the room will see this, but this cross-front vest, I love vests. And of course, when I'm up at my cabin, it's just, the weather's always kind of iffy. So vests are a great option.
Yeah.
You can wear a tank underneath it, or you could wear something with sleeves. I think this is probably the first on my list. Actually, I'm going to turn that over so I don't forget. So it's like I carry half of my stash to the mountains with me, or at least, okay, I don't carry half of it. I'm going to be honest. I have a huge stash, but I do carry a select amount of yarn, or I ship it ahead. I will admit that. Right. I ship it ahead because it's big boxes. And so I have to go take a look at my stash and see what's what.
Yeah, that's another sport weight yarn.
That's Cascade.
Oh, it's the Cascade.
It's the Cascade 220 Sport.
Yep. It's the sport again.
Yeah, Superwash Sport. So, yeah. Alrighty then. So that's my next project. So, all right. Because I'm working for sweater for my husband, but, sometimes you just got to do some stuff for yourself, too.
Yeah.
So I know everybody's going to want to keep up. And Kate says, amazing book. Thanks for sharing. So I agree.
Thank you.
So here's how you're going to keep track of the guys with a Z. So you could go to Shibaguyz.com and you will see on this is the landing page here. You can go to Shibaguyz Design, which is right here, or Shibaguyz Photography. So you can figure out, there you go, Jason, the photographer. I'm sure that's not why you got married, but it did work out.
That's a funny story, yeah. I mean,
it's useful, right? I mean, it's useful. It's useful to be married to somebody who, like my husband is an oral surgeon. He took out my son's wisdom teeth, and then I said, if you were a plastic surgeon, it'd be more useful as I get older. Now, now what am I going to use you for? So,
maybe just here and there, and
a little tuck here and there, but so it's nice that all worked out for you guys. But
it's an amazing thing to be able to work as a team on projects now, and he's developed a lot of the skills and learned a lot of the skills that he needed to be able to do this, just specifically so that we could work together like this. I mean, whether it's an opportunity, we created our own business for the reason that people to go into business together is because they want to create an opportunity for themselves, and also for people like our contractors. Juanita popping in the room was convenient there because it gives us an opportunity to send some work out to them and let them showcase what they do too and express themselves through a larger audience. And we think that's important. An important part of what we do is to create those opportunities for other people.
Yeah, but you have inspired me to try to convince my husband that he should learn how to do all the finishing on my knitting, that he should do the blocking, he should do the sewing. He could learn how to pick up stitches and do the, do all of the ribbing, and there's some things, so we're gonna have to chat when he gets up here on Friday. So
and then he'll blame us, and then we're
I'll give him your phone number, and he may be calling. So
yeah, you do that.
So you can also there's a designer page under Shannon Mullett-Bowlsby on Ravelry for those who are on Ravelry, and of course it says there are 240 designs. So you've been busy.
We've been busy for the past few years.
Yeah, you've been working hard. So, and then of course Facebook, Shibaguyz Designs, and designs with a Z. But I have a sneaking feeling if you just search for Shibaguyz with a Z, it will probably be, that's what's going to show up.
Yeah, you'll see it.
Right, you'll find it. You can find it. I know you can find it. So, and then I know that like the New York State Sheep and Wool Festival, loving as Rhinebeck. Yeah, that this is a big deal. You guys are going to Rhinebeck.
We put it. We haven't put in an application to teach there before, and this year we sent in a proposal, and they were like, please. Yes, and so we're teaching. Yeah, you're scrolling there. You can see it. We're teaching 6 classes at Rhinebeck this year. There's some design classes as well as like beginning crochet. We're doing our most popular photography class, how to take photos of your projects, and our foundations and finishing, which is hands-on how we do what we do, and in crochet. So there's actual crochet classes at Rhinebeck this year. So go sign up and come to Rhinebeck.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. It's Rhinebeck in the fall. It's upstate New York in the fall. Hello, it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, and it's just you just say Rhinebeck, everybody knows what that is. I don't think anybody calls it New York Sheep and Wool. Everybody just calls it Rhinebeck. So. Exactly. Yeah, I mean it's a huge fiber event, and if it fits your schedule, and it's it's
love to see you. It'd be amazing.
It is, and and bring an empty suitcase because you'll do a little shopping while you're there. It's virtually impossible not to. So lots of indie dyers and spinners, and it's a very artsy kind of thing. So. Yeah. So, and here's, and this is nice because here's some alternate pictures that show you Shannon's work on fluffier models than you normally see in knitting and crochet work. So you can see how great these projects look on people of all shapes and sizes. I mean, if you're 5'11" and a size 2, I'm not saying anything negative.
We designed for those too.
Because
it's tall on your petite too.
Yeah, tall, skinny women, they deserve lovely garments as well.
It all works.
Yeah. So
a lot of photos over on Shibaguyz Designs, Shibaguyzdesigns.com. There's a lot of pictures of our work, and it has all of our individual patterns for sale as well as our books. But we do on our blog pretty regularly. We have we put up posts about the different designs that we're doing, and so it even has photos that won't be in the book.
Yeah, how great!
This is our Craftsy homepage. Because you talk about those crochet cables. That's my current class on Craftsy, is how to make crochet cables. So.
Very nice. And Craftsy is a great place, and they're always running sales on their classes, which is great. Oh. Right?
Yeah, I took classes at Craftsy before I was a teacher there, so.
Yeah. So, and I get emails, right today, all classes 25%. I mean, sign up for their email, because then you find out about when they're running big sales on their classes, and then you can sign up for everything you want, save a little money at the same time. So, and then you can also, if you're on Google+, you can add the Shibaguyz to your circle and kind of keep up with what's going on as well, because, oh, and goodness, I think you're going to be on Planet Purl today. Oh, wait, that's here. So you can also follow the Shibaguyz and see where they're going to be and what they're going to be up to. And that's an easy way to do it as well. Yeah, especially for those of us who are kind of, being careful on Facebook, but there you go. There's another place to follow them along.
We're everywhere. Instagram, Twitter. If you go onto Shibaguyzdesigns.com, it has the links to all of our social media stuff. So
yeah, it's actually kind of hard not to find you. You'd actually really have to work to not find the Shibaguyz on.
That's the point.
Like, you're everywhere. You can't avoid them. They're everywhere. So Thank you guys for both for joining us for today, because I promise people crocheting comedy, and Shannon and Jason, of course, you never disappoint. So people in the room, do not go away, because the guys are going to help me give away a book in just a minute. And then if you're coming back, if you're watching this on YouTube after the live event, because you have a job, that's okay. I love you anyway. So then is that I'll be giving away another copy later this week on Facebook. So check out Planet Purl's Facebook page, and you'll get an opportunity to enter in a random drawing for yet another book. So yeah, Julie says she's astounded by the quality of the designs. Thanks so much, which I think we all agree. Thank you so much, Shannon and Jason, for joining us today. People in the room, don't go away, because we're going to be right back.